long ago in a galaxy far away. At least, that is how it seems these days. I was a young loan service pilot in the Sultan of Oman's Air Force. The Dhofar War, 1962 to 1976, was then in full swing, and most of my time was spent operating Strike Master aircraft in the close air support and interdiction roles from Salalah in the south of the country. The life was varied and exciting. I acquired my fair share of bullet holes during my tour, and it might be thought that one would have needed no further professional challenge beyond this, but those ground attack sorties were only part of the story, and some of my most memorable experiences came in another role entirely. For a reason that I never fully understood, my squadron was tasked with operating not just Strike Masters, but also a small number of Beavers. This rather venerable type, built by de Havilland of Canada, had first flown on the 16th of August 1947, but it remained in use well into the 21st century. It was a single-engined, high-wing, propeller-driven aircraft that had been designed to take off from and land on short, rough airstrips. It was intended for utility transport roles and could carry up to 6 passengers, or just under 1,000 kilograms of freight. In Oman, it was used for a variety of tasks. The transport of small numbers of personnel between remote locations, casualty and medical evacuation, and, particularly in Dhofar, photographic reconnaissance. The latter role did not involve much in the way of high technology. The aircraft would take off with one of the side doors removed, and at a suitable altitude an Army liaison officer, fitted with an appropriate safety harness, would lean far out from the cabin and take photographs with a motor drive-equipped 2.5-inch Hasselblad camera. It was all very basic, but it worked. The great advantages of the Beaver was that it was robust, cheap to operate, and could fly into almost any location. The landing airspeed at a short strip was only about 45 knots, so with a decent headwind the aircraft could be brought to a halt in a very short distance indeed. This made it ideal for operations in an undeveloped country such as the Oman of those days. My conversion to the Beaver was a rather perfunctory affair. 2 dual sorties followed by a solo. I then flew a couple of further duels to familiarise me with the various rough strips around Dhofar, after which I was cleared for operations on the aircraft. I have always been a fast jet pilot, a fighter pilot in common parlance, at heart as well as in fact, but the hours that I spent in the Beaver provided me with some of the most interesting experiences of my career in the air. Just 1 month after starting to fly the aircraft, for example, I became the first pilot to land at Huron, a newly cleared desert strip north of the Dhofar Jebel,